another gun build in Call of Duty Vanguard, and this time around I want to go back to the Gewehr or the G-43 marksman rifle. It is the third in its group or its actual class. It is fairly up there or fairly high in levels or ranks that you need to go to in order to unlock it, near level 55, I think. So it is a pretty high tier kind of gun that you'll be eventually getting on the later end of levels. But it's actually really cool because in its class, it is the most mobile rifle in its category and the highest fire rate. So like the M1 Garand is supposed to be like this weird like mixture between both the SVT-40 and the G-43. The SVT-40 is the closest that you're going to get to a sniper rifle or like a legit sniper rifle, and this thing is more of an assault rifle. Like again, M1 Garand is also an assault rifle, but a little bit in between here. So it's just kind of overall just rounded. But for the G43, I wanted to go over more or less an assault rifle build that I use. That's actually pretty solid. So right off the bat, we're making it into where it's an assault rifle. So you want to go to the barrel. Now this one is going to be at the very end of all the barrels, so it's also going to be a pretty high level attachment to get. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, but it's called the Wyvern 570 millimeter full auto. I'm not sure if I'm or Wyvern, however you guys want to pronounce that, but it's a full auto barrel. So it converts your semi-automatic rifle into a full auto. It gives you fully automatic toggle, aim down sight speed bonus, obviously more fire rate to it, and vertical recoil control. The only cons to it is a pretty good amount of loss to damage to your gun, but still going down to like the base damage, which so it's not really too bad at all. And then accuracy is hurt a pretty good amount. So what do we do there? We actually get a bunch of other attachments that help out in accuracy. So again, like it just makes it to where it's fairly like full auto here. So it's actually pretty solid. For the muzzle, we're actually going to go over to the G20 compensator, and this will give us even more recoil control without any kind of cons, which is really solid. Just gives us 4.8% recoil control to or the vertical recoil control, and 1.2% towards the horizontal recoil control, which it doesn't state for some reason, but that's really solid there. As that just makes it towards a little bit more of a laser beam. Uh, for the optics, this is really up to you guys, but I recommend going for like more of the one times or yeah, pretty much the one time zoom scopes, the ones that don't hurt your aim down sight speed in any way. The stocks don't really do anything that can really help out in terms of like real speed, but more for accuracy. So I just went with the Fitzbert reinforced. I don't even know how to pronounce that, but second stock down from the top. But it gives you +2 initial accuracy and recoil, so you can get that first shot off, and it will pretty much guarantee that shot will go wherever you're aiming, because that whole bloom thing going on in the game where your bullets don't go exactly where you're aiming, which I hate a lot, but it is what it is. It gives you an aim down sight speed bonus. I believe it's only by 4%, so it's not a whole lot. I think it drops it down by like a frame or so. And then recoil recovery. So what that is the recentering speed. So it gives you centering speed plus 10%. So when you shoot up and you stop firing, your scope would kind of like recenter towards the middle more. With every kick, it will kind of like recenter towards the middle of your screen there, which is really good. So that means you can get off consecutive shots more accurately because you can actually see your target more often than not. Cons being hip fire accuracy. This is a marksman rifle, so the hip fire accuracy is not going to be good already. It's just how it is for its stats, so you don't need to worry about that too much. Uh, the only time you're going to be using hip fire is when you're really up close to someone. And also accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. It shouldn't take you more than 3 shots to kill someone unless you're using other attachments to decrease damage. But so you don't really need to worry about accuracy and recoil during sustained fire because usually, if you take 3 shots to kill someone, maybe 4 if you miss one. And then down to the proficiencies, I went with tight grip. I think this one might be the best one out of the entire proficiency section, aside from quick scope, and it gives you improved accuracy for a short time after aiming down sights. But I just go with tight grip because this increases your recoil and your accuracy overall in any kind of time that you're aiming, and it's pretty solid. You can watch other YouTubers and stuff that'll show like the actual effect that this thing has on recoil. It's pretty solid, so it makes it to where your gun's pretty much a laser beam. And the rear grip, we went with one that does take a little bit down from the aim down sight speed, but it does give us way more recoil control. Gives us +2. It gives us 9.3% towards the vertical recoil, or the recoil going up, and then horizontal recoil is by 2.5%, which is really solid. And for some reason, hipfire accuracy is 2.8%. Oh yeah, it says it right there, but 2.8%. But that's hardly anything, so you don't need to worry about that. At the cost of aim down sight speed going down by another 3.2%. You don't need to worry about that too much, since we had a different attachment that went over that. Now, this is optional. You don't need to run it, but I've been going with it. It's the .3006, or yeah, the .36 10 round magazines. So all this is just a way larger caliber round. It should take you about like one less shot to actually kill an enemy. It gives you bullet penetration damage, bullet velocity and range. Cons being -5 recoil control and accuracy, and -2 fire rate, -1 movement speed, and -1 aim down sight speed. So really, it's just going to make it to where you're a lot more inaccurate, more or less, and a lot slower. Again, you don't need to run this. I was just kind of running that for a while to see how it really works with the automatic barrel, but you don't need to run that. What I do recommend is actually running the 8mm Clouser 20 round magazine. This is the first one that you get in the game, so you should be able to run it pretty well, or a little bit early. And it's really just the standard ammunition type, but I guess it's 8mm. But it has a 20 round magazine opposed to the 10 round mag. So I'd run that on there so you can get more than 2 kills at a time, which is really solid. And that is essentially the most that you're going to get out of the build for all the attachments for handling. Now there is 2 other attachments I wanted to go over. Well, actually, ammo types as well. If you'd want to, ammo types is really up to you guys as well. I'm running hollow point, just increase limb damage. It just makes it to where I don't need to worry about shooting them in the limb and not doing as much damage. That's really up to you guys. Either one of these really work. It doesn't really do a massive difference to your gun. But yeah, so I wanted to go with another one. This is actually pretty broken. But the underbarrel, I went with the bayonet. Gives you increased melee damage. It makes it to where your gun is a one-hit kill when you're using it. And it also gives you melee range. So it does, I think it has like double the range of the combat knife, which is really solid. I'm not entirely sure how much range that is because it doesn't show it in the stats. But with a different actual like attachment that you could put onto the gun, and also like by the cons, it's -1 melee recover speed, so it does take a little bit for you to be able to swing onto another target opposed to the combat knife. So there's cons and pros between both of them. But you can put on this kit, goes down, you can increase melee range, so you can take the bayonet increase melee range and the melee range from this kit here, and that doubles it again. So from my gameplay, I want to see if I can get some really good gameplay for you guys showing this off. But you can hit up to someone from like not 40 meters, 40 feet away, which is pretty solid. I don't know how much that would really be for meters because I don't really use that too much. But yeah, unless I'm actually trying to like measure out for gunshots and stuff for snipers. But yeah, so it's actually really solid. So imagine the Cali sticks from Modern Warfare, like their lunge or their lunge distance. This thing is almost doubling that. So it is very odd. It has so much freaking range for your actual lunge. You're almost teleporting towards the person. You're so far away coming towards them. Like it's weird. And it's very aggressive for the animation. So it's really dang cool. So that's more for like close quarter combat, because since this thing is a marksman rifle, it's not going to do really good in terms of like close quarters. It can't really compete with SMGs or the MP40 that can apparently outgun anything at any range despite it being an SMG. But yeah, so this thing's really solid in close quarters because you have the bayonet and it can hit people from such a long range away. It's pretty solid. It makes it to where that you're able to do a little bit more in close range kind of deal. You most likely will survive those kind of gunfights. And yeah, so that's pretty much the build I wanted to show here. That's more of the assault rifle version. It's actually really cool. Uh, Later on, I'll be able to unlock these smaller rounds to 20 round magazine. I'm not sure if I would recommend this to you guys because that drops the damage down a ton. As you can see down in the stats there, the damage is reduced by another like 22.2%. So maybe not try that. That will bring your gun to about like 6 shots in order to kill someone, which is not good for a marksman rifle for its handling, despite it being, the fastest in its category. But yeah, so I run the 20 round magazines. If you don't want to, you can run the 30-06 10 round magazine. There's also the 8 round, 8 millimeter uh, round magazine here. Just makes it to where that you just reload quicker. It doesn't do anything really special. I wouldn't run that because you usually would just have enough to kill one person before needing to reload. So that's pretty much a waste of an attachment space. So it's very awful, especially when you're running an automatic barrel. Yeah, so aside from that, guys, that should be the assault rifle version. I'll be getting the sniper rifle one out right after this video. Thank you all for watching the video. If you like it, put up a like or let me know down in the comments. If you have any suggestions on how to make this build better, or if you have any that you'd want to recommend to me, let me know again down in the comments and stuff. I would absolutely cover them and put them into a video. And also, give credit towards the person who sent me that idea first. So yeah, I appreciate all y'all for supporting the channel. We've got over a little bit over 100 subscribers now, and that's actually pretty dang cool. And yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one.